Minasan konnichiwa and welcome to Shogo's podcast. So guys, because I really struggled to find the time to record these podcasts recently, it's actually 9:30 p.m. right now. It's actually a time where I start doing my work at nighttime. I do work, of course, during the day as well, from morning and then to evening, and then I do all the feeding my kids and letting them take a bath, drying their hair and brushing their teeth, all that kind of stuff. And then after that, we make them go to bed, and then finally we start working from there too, usually till around 1 a.m. So like 4 hours and such. But the nighttime work is just about to begin, and when the nighttime work is just about to begin, I am already very tired, to be really honest to you guys. So you probably notice I'm not properly speaking already, but if my stories go all over the place as usual, I apologize in advance. And also, I need to say sorry again that the number of podcasts I'll be posting will be lessened to only 2 times a week, and most of it is actually going to be talking about Katana again. Yeah, because the stuff that I'm focused on right now are a lot about Katana actually. So I really hope you can understand. Well, strictly speaking, it's more about the Budo martial arts that I'm training in right now. It's either Asayama Shinryu or Yushin Yushin-kan. So I really hope you understand. I'll be talking probably a lot about these two things for a while. But anyways, whenever I go to film with Asayama Shinryu, so I have my new channel that started from 2023, the Let's Ask Six Sensei, which is the channel where I feature the Asayama Ichiden Kai, which is the dojo, the group, or that has carried on the Asayama Ichiden, which is a Kobudo, ancient Japanese Budo martial art that has had a history of over 400 years. Now, whenever I go and film, I usually try to film like around 5 to 6 videos per day. I take the first train in the very early morning. I wake up at 4 a.m. and leave the house like 5:30 and get to the station at 6 and ride the bullet train at like 6:20 something. Yeah, get over to the Kanto area and such and film a few videos. But whenever we have, of course, some free time in between, I always listen to Seki Sensei's story. He is actually a very, very talkative person. He loves to talk. And I love to listen, of course. So I enjoy it very much. And a lot of the stuff that he talks about is, of course, related to martial arts. And he often talks about the All Japan Kendo Federation Iaido club's standard kata. I've often mentioned about the 12 standard kata. When we usually refer to Iaido, we are referring to the All Japan Kendo Federation Iaido club's standard kata. And he is as also eighth dan, right? Eighth dan in the All Japan Kendo Federation Iaido club. So he's been training in it for a very long time. But because he trains in so many other styles and so on and so forth, he has a lot of things that he is feeling that's very strange, I guess. That doesn't make any sense in a way. Yeah, to be really honest. Yeah, it's really funny because he's an 8th dan instructor and he still does teach the All Japan Kendo Federation Iaido Club skills too. But he is always talking about this part is strange, and he often, of course, he knows about all the problems that are happening inside the federation too. Remember one of my past podcasts I actually talked about. I went to the seminar held by the federation, and there was a fight between the instructors, and it ended an hour early, even though we paid for it. And yeah, he of course knows about this stuff because he's one of the top ranked instructors. And one of the things that he was talking about regarding the 12 kata in the All Japan Kendo Federation Iaido Club, the standard 12 kata was really, really interesting. And if you're training in Iaido, and if you are willing to train in Iaido, if you ever hear about this, or if you ever heard of this before, if your instructors ever taught you this, it'd be great if you could let me know in the comments, because I have had my instructors that have taught me the 12 kata, standard kata before, had told me this millions of times before, and Seki Sensei is basically against it, I guess. Yeah, and he has an opposing idea, basically. And it shocked me very much so in this podcast. I wanted to share it with you. So basically what it was is that especially the first kata of the 12 standard kata is called mae, which means front, where you're in a sitting position, you put your both hands under sort of the same time, and you draw and attack, basically cutting sideways. Yeah, it's called a nukitsuke. Yeah, so you draw and attack at the same time. Now, if you train in 12 center kata, at least in Japan, you are very, very often taught that you need to draw slowly, very calmly. So, for example, you start drawing the blade, and for example, if your opponent quits attacking, you can quit attacking too. You need to be that calm, you need to be that slow, basically, in your movements. And I think a lot of the people training Iaido have been taught this. But Six Sensei was saying that this is the most ridiculous thing that he has ever heard before. And the reason is because of samurai history. Now, if you study a little bit of samurai history, especially during the Edo period and its rules, you will immediately find out that if two samurai fought each other, there was a standard, a way to decide who was the one guilty between the two samurai. And the standard was who showed their blade first. So basically, the moment you showed your blade in public, you will be responsible for something. Yeah, and especially if you drew the katana first and you, for example, killed the other person, or even if you get killed in the fight, or even the fight does not end, it will be your responsibility. That means your family, your clan, everyone will be responsible for that incident, basically. So, and of course, if you try to draw your katana back at the opponent who drew towards you, even if he was the one who drew first, for example, if you happen to not have any eyewitnesses, you will of course be in court too. And there is no videos back at that time, there are no pictures. So there is a chance that you will be guilty, from all the information that people find, or maybe people try to trick you into being guilty, for example. So if you haven't showed your blade at all in public, that wouldn't be a problem. But if you have, even just an inch of showing your blade, you'll be considered that you took part in that battle, so you'll be in court, if that makes sense. So basically what Six Sensei is trying to say is that if you showed your blade, you will not be putting it back, that's not the amount of readiness, that you should have to draw out your katana, if that makes sense. If you're that calm, if you're that slow to put back your sword, you shouldn't draw your katana in the first place. You should have a conversation. You should try to, for example, stop the blade without using your weapon. There are a lot of techniques, for example, where you don't have to pull the katana out of the scabbard and fight back using the katana inside the scabbard. Or, for example, of course, there are no-handed techniques. No-handed? No-handed techniques. No weapon techniques. There we go. See? My brain is already sleeping. No weapon techniques that you could use, for example, without using your weapon to try to capture the opponent and such, right? So it's a little bit strange, considering this history, that to teach students that even once you've shown your blade and you're just about to do the strike, you need to be calm enough to put the sword back and say that, okay, nothing happened. No, it won't be that way. Of course, it's the same thing. If you can imagine back in any kind of history, if you took out your weapon, you won't just put it back and walk away, without nothing happening, right? Something can't be solved that easily, especially between the samurai who are, top class in the society, right? So I believe that I guess in a way, again, 12 center kata is a modern Budo, right? So if modern Budo has a completely new concept, I guess it could make sense. But if you link it together even a tiny bit to samurai history or culture, like Kobudo does, there's a lot of contradictions that are occurring. And I have never, ever thought about this before. It was something I found out only because I was able to talk, just do some free talk with Seki Sensei outside of the camera, if that makes sense. So yeah, that was really, really interesting. I wanted to share it with you. And if I learn anything new that I won't be able to put in the video, but I still want to share with you, I'll absolutely be sharing it with you in the podcast. So I hope you can look forward to it. And at the beginning, by the way, I told you guys that going to be talking a lot about the Asayama Shinryu or Yushinryu, something related to Budo martial arts and Katana and such. But I'm really excited that I'll be able to meet Kaino Daisuke-san, again, the shakuhachi player of Ibaraki band, probably in March. We're going to be discussing some new plans for 2023. We're going to be probably going to be filming 2 more videos together. Yeah, we might try to film that on one day, but it'll be exciting if I can do that. And I'm hoping to do something together with him, a project together with him in the future. So that's going to be really exciting too. But for now, thank you so much for listening. So then everyone, as I always say, the ultimate goal of my life is to make all Japan lovers' dreams come true. So I know there's a lot of people studying Japanese wanting to come to Japan to study, travel, or work, or even train our traditional culture and such. However, I am very afraid that Japan will not be able to make everyone's dreams come true in the future because we're facing a lot of social problems. We are losing our traditional culture, and the younger generations who are supposed to be carrying on the good things about Japan are dying because of all the social issues being shoved against them. So I really want to dedicate my life trying to make Japan a better place. I want to try to solve the social problems, preserve and evolve traditional culture, and also help out the younger generations so they can have a brighter future. And to do that, nearest goals I have right now is to achieve 100,000 subscribers at my new Six Sensei channel. Try to welcome 50 guests a month, at least some at a month anywhere this year in 2023. Achieve 50 guests at the Yushinkan Samurai Experience, and all of the other activities are in the description box. I hope you can check them out and support me if you can. Thank you so much, guys, for listening, and I am half sleeping already, but I'm going to be doing some video editing from here. Wish me luck, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.